to my channel. This is the third video in my How to Crochet for Absolute Beginners series. Today we are going to be talking about mastering your tension while you crochet. If you are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any new content. And if you haven't watched my previous lessons in this series, I will be linking them in order in the description box for you to check out. In my last video, you learned all about yarn labels and how to read them and how to choose the right yarn for your projects. Now we are going to start actually crocheting using the yarn and the hook that you chose to practice with. Before you start learning all of the basic crochet stitches, you really need to learn how to hold your hook and your yarn so that you can create straight, even stitches. This is known as tension. If you don't master your tension, your work will look very sloppy and uneven, and your hands and your wrists are more likely to be injured. So getting good tension is going to take practice, so brace yourself, but it is definitely worth it in the end. So let's get started. Today I will be using the yarn I suggested in my last video called Yarn for Beginners and my 8mm hook. You can use whatever supplies that you would like, but I do recommend a light colored bulky weight yarn and a bigger hook like a 6.5mm hook or above. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your hook. You will be holding your hook in your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you would hold it in your right hand, and if you're left-handed, you're going to hold it in your left. But if you're ambidextrous, I do recommend that you hold it in your right hand because most patterns are written for right-handed crocheters. Many people hold their hook and their working yarn differently. There is no right or wrong way, but I will say that I have noticed some trends over the years, and in 30 years of crocheting, the way that I learned has not caused me much pain in my hands or my wrists. Regardless of whether or not you choose to hold your hook and your yarn like I do, I recommend that you find a comfortable way and practice it over and over because tension is very important. I will teach you the way that I learned, and you can play around and try different ways if you don't like the way that I teach you. So you can hold your hook like a knife or a pencil. I will mention here that many people who hold their hook like a pencil complain of wrist pain in these areas here, whereas people who hold their hook like a knife tend to complain of hand pain. Truly, my pain is minimal, which is why I feel like holding it like a knife is best, but that's best for me. You do what you are comfortable with and what feels the most natural to you. So personally, I like to use a knife grip. So now in order to practice our left hand tension, we have to add our yarn to our hook, and to do that we're going to make a slip knot. A slip knot is similar to a regular knot, only you don't finish the last step. So watch me carefully for this first time before I try to explain it. So as you can see, it's very easy. I'm going to show you again. So this is how you just take it out. You bring the bottom tail over the top and then to the back. And then you take your hook and you go underneath that middle strand, hold the bottom and pull on the top. And that is your slip knot. Now you have what's called your working yarn over here attached to your ball of yarn. How you hold this yarn greatly affects your tension, and here's how I personally hold my working yarn. So first you're going to hook your pinky under your yarn, taking the strand from front to back. Then you're going to flip your hand over, taking the strand under your hand at the knuckles. Wrap the strand over your index finger from the back of the hand to the palm area. Doing this creates a sort of pulley system that allows you to control how tight or loose your stitches are. So let's do it again. Take your pinky, hook your yarn from front to back, flip your palm over, wrap your yarn around your index finger. You should keep your yarn around the middle knuckle. I use my thumb and my middle finger to hold my work and pull it slightly away from my hook so my hook can slide through the loop more easily. Try to hold this knot between your middle finger and your thumb like I'm showing you here. Your hook should easily slide through your loop. If not, your tension is just too tight. That's why I use my thumb and my middle finger to keep my loops loose enough. When you wrap your yarn around your fingers, you want it to be close to your hook so you can hold your knot or your work in your middle finger and your thumb like I'm showing you here. Your goal is to keep your index finger pointed straight up like I'm showing you. This creates space for you to be able to actually hook your yarn. If it's relaxed down, there's no space for your hook to work. Now we will create what's called a foundation chain or chain stitch. You will hear yarn over a lot. That's because you will bring your strand over the top of your hook from back to front. Many beginners struggle with remembering how to hook their yarn. Remember to keep your hook under your strand. If your chain stitches look sloppy, chances are you're sometimes taking your hook over the top of your strand on accident. So that's yarn over your hook from back to front. Now you're going to twist your hook so that it faces downward, just like that, and you're going to pull that strand through the loop that's on your hook. Then you're going to move your thumb and your middle finger up as you go and repeat this process again and again. So yarn over hook from back to front, twist your hook downward, and pull that strand through the loop that's on your hook. Move your thumb and your middle finger up as you go. So I'm keeping it close to my hook. Keep that index finger straight. Yarn over hook. Twist your hook downward. If you're struggling to get your hook through the loop, pull your hook away from your thumb and your middle finger to enlarge the loop. Then you're going to move your thumb and your middle finger up. Keep that index finger straight. Continue practicing your tension, chaining again and again. Yarn over hook, twist your hook downward, pull through. Yarn over hook, twist your hook downward, pull through. And you're just going to continue doing this over and over. This is called the chain stitch. Don't worry about counting stitches right now. We're not worried about that. Just chain over and over until your chain stitches are equal size and start to look neat. I would pull it out every so often so that you can practice your slip knot and starting over. So when your chain looks neat and even, like you see here, you are ready to move on to the next lesson. So be sure to check out the next video in this series where I will begin to teach you the basic stitches that every crocheter needs to know. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.